Okay, so Rogue Mirror. Going first, so backstab is what we want. All we want is backstab Miscreant. Every other card can... we don't care for any other card. All we want is backstab and Miscreant. Shadow Step would be cool too, but only if we get the Miscreant. Like, Ferrocat is cool, but really, like, we want the Miscreant because otherwise we're just passing. How many turns are we passing? Especially since he has the coin, he very likely has a turn 2 play. Huh. Nothing to do here. We really would like to draw a Seal Fate for his turn 2 play. Oh, he just has a dagger though, huh? But he doesn't hit, so he has a plan for turn 3. We don't have anything to do, so we're just gonna do that. Maybe a coin 4-mana play. Maybe he wants to Seal Fate our face, which I would not advise doing. That's not a good play. Okay. Wait, where did that come from? He had that last turn, yeah? You have to coin Miscreant on 2. Yeah. Why has he done this? In Ferrocat. Why did he do that? I don't understand. Okay, well, I mean, either way, we don't have many options. I think all we have to do is backstab Devoted Maniac. We have to clear the Miscreant. I have no idea why he's... Yeah, I have no idea why he's done his play this way, where he doesn't coin Miscreant on 2. I think Miscreant on 2 is like the strongest play in the whole game. So I don't understand why he didn't coin it out on 2. I guess we're about to find out. But like, I have no idea what he's planning to play on 4. He only has 2 lackeys. He has maybe like a temple tomb guy or whatever from his Ferrocat, but he played it out this way already. He already made the decision to do it before he played the Ferrocat, so there's nothing relevant from that. So he's really probably just trying to play a Life Drinker on 4, or maybe his own Devoted Maniac. Either way, it's fine. This is all we have to do. We have to clear the Miscreant because Shadow Step is just a blowout, especially when we have nothing in our hand right now. Faces like he's so good. That's like the best lackey. Yeah, especially in the early game. Especially when the lackey shenanigans haven't begun yet. So all he has is Devoted Maniac. That's good for us. When the lackey shenanigans haven't begun yet, Faceless Lackey is like the best lackey you can have. Because you just build a board. It's just DJ build a board. That could be his DJ name. This is interesting. So I think on 5 we really just want a Shield of Galakron here. Because we have 2 of them in hand. It presents something to him. Have to make him have a backstab. Have to make him use a Seal Fate. Which we don't love getting it Seal Fated, but if he Seal Fates, then he only has 2 mana to work with, and all he's going to do is like play out his 2 lackeys, I suppose, 2 of his 3 lackeys. So it's not the worst thing in the world, the Shield of Galakron, and it gets a card out of our hand. We just need to get some heavy stuff out of our hand. We could also Spirit of the Shark Faceless Lackey, but we're also going to have that to play next turn. And he might have to use his whole board to clear this Shield of Galakron. There's no way for us to clear the Devoted Maniac, which I would like to do, so that he can't get Witchy Lackey value. If he has that. But... Now, interestingly here, we could have also cleared the Ferrocat if we had pinged it 2 times in a row. I think that it didn't make sense on turn 4. And so here it also doesn't make sense because we didn't do it on turn 4, but the way it's turned out could have always killed that now. But we would just have to redagger later, so let's see if that ends up being relevant. Here he just wants to drop his own Shield of Galakron usually, so like he kind of has to have the backstab to clear this out. Otherwise he's going to have to do something else. Okay, he has a sound. Double time, okay. Here, do we just set up our shark now? We could Shield of Galakron, but like I need to clear that L3 soon, and since he played his shark out, he likely has things he wants to do. He just played 1 of his 3 lackeys, so he has 2 lackeys remaining in hand. He has 6 mana. He might have a Praise Galakron. He might have a Seal Fate. He might want to just do a double invoke next turn. That could be what he has planned, because he doesn't really have anything else to do guaranteed, you know? He only has 2 lackeys. So probably we can safely maybe even just set up our Spirit of the Shark because we have our Faceless Lackey. Kind of sucks away with the Ethereal Lackey, because I think Ethereal Lackey is mostly useless nowadays. Really all we want is cards that are already in our deck. If we get a Backstab or like a Shadow Step, it's awesome, but like everything else is kind of weak, except maybe like Prep, maybe like, I mean obviously Eviscerate, we don't want another Sap, we already have too many Saps. Saps are pretty useless in this matchup. So I think we definitely want to build a board here. I think I prefer the Spirit of the Shark play over Shield of Galakron Faceless. Just because we get one more out, we can Shield of Galakron next turn. I mean, actually, I don't even know. Do we need the double invoke that bad? Maybe we want to because he's double invoking next turn probably, so his Galakron is about to be fully locked and loaded, so maybe we want to get ours done as quickly as possible too. I think I like this play. That's interesting. Probably a head crack here. We don't need Myra's and Necrim, it's just garbage. It's just going to sit in our hand all game. The head crack is fine. Here, what do we really want to assassinate? Is he ever building something that we really need to assassinate? Excuse me. I'm not sure. Could be useful to have a pocket assassinate, but it's so expensive we're never going to want to play it. The other option is like Clever Disguise. I guess you could try Violet Haze, but like either of them are going to cost more than Assassinate in the long run. So I think both of those are traps too. We just pick something and never play it. In which case maybe do we want to just take Assassinate? Is Violet Haze even better than Clever Disguise? I'm not sure. I don't think it really matters. I don't think we're ever really playing it. We have plays for the next 2 turns at least. So we're letting him get 2 turns of Shark value off, but we should also be getting 2 turns of Shark value off. All he's doing is fully invoking the Galakron. I mean, he still has 3 lackeys, 4 lackeys rather now, yeah. So Titanic. Pretty good. Pretty good turn. Pretty good turn. Okay, so here we want to get more value off the Shark. We can just go ahead and Shield of Galakron. But then what are we doing? We have to like play a Praise Galakron and then only get 1 more lackey. Alternatively, we could just start Praise of Galakroning him because we can sap the 2/5. And then we can use our 2/3 Shark or our 3/3 Shark to kill the 0/3. Let's see what we get off the Praise of Galakron. I think that's the play, right? I don't think we should be Shield of Galakroning here off the top. Because it only allows us to get 1 lackey down. I would like to get multiple lackeys if we can. Multiple turn, or multiple value. Lackey value. Okay, this changes the play because now we can actually do this. We can Life Drinker, get the Life Drinker value, and then we can Goblin Lackey the Life Drinker, and then hit the 5/2, and then clear off the 0/3, and then hit the probably the Lackey. I like this play a lot. Okay, see, because this puts so much pressure on him. Rush is so much pressure. 6 damage to the face is so much pressure. Killing his Shark is so much pressure, and now he has no board. He has no board with which to deal with my 3/3 Shark that is coming every turn, and he must destroy it next turn. He cannot allow me to get even more value off this Shark, because I'll just win the game straight up if that happens. So he has to clear this Shark next turn. And we also have a really strong board. We've got to clear the Lackey here. So we have a really strong board here. You have to kill the Lackey here. No, you don't have to kill the lackey here. I think maybe I agree with this. Because he has a lackey in hand, and he has 7 mana. So he can just play a lackey and Togwaggle if he wants. So maybe we just clear the damage off the board. Because otherwise he can maybe have an easier time killing the shark. Although I don't think it's such a break point. Maybe we're just supposed to kill the lackey here by default. But one of his lackeys could be Witchy Lackey for sure. So I think I do actually like this kill the Devoted Maniac over kill the lackey. This is one of the times where you don't have to just follow the rule of kill the lackey, kill the lackey, kill the lackey, because it's always really good to deny the Togwaggle, but we're not even really denying the Togwaggle here by leaving the lackey alive because, or sorry, by killing the lackey because he has another lackey in hand. So this is nice. This is a great play. And now let's see what he does. Seal Fate. From the first card in his hand. He's been sitting on that all game. I guess we haven't given him a good enough opportunity to use it. So is it possible that maybe he played his Miscreant, he delayed his Miscreant to turn 3 so that we wouldn't have a play on 3, so that we can't backstab Miscreant, and we also can't Seal Fate? I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's wrong. I still think it's wrong. Because you just want to get the lackey generation so early, because especially since he had the Pharaoh Cat in hand, if he just Miscreants on 2, then on 3 he can Pharaoh Cat and double lackey. And how do I recover from that when I have such a slow hand? Now I'm in really big trouble. Now I have to play my Shield of Galacrons, both of them probably as soon as I can. I'm probably not able to get great value out of the Life Drinker. The Shark is dead in my hand because I just can't ever find time to pay the mana to use it, you know? So like, I think it was a really big misplay for him to hold the Miscreant on turn 2. You guys should let me know what you think in the comments if you agree or disagree. But I think that holding the Miscreant specifically to deny my turn 3 play, I think that was wrong, because his turn 3 was going to be so strong. And then he follows it up with the Devoted Maniac anyway, and he still has the coin in his hand. So he can coin a Witchy Lackey on the Devoted Maniac if he gets that. Like, he has so many just different options by keeping the coin, instead of having to use it there on turn 4. Oh no, he doesn't keep the coin, because he's using a Miscreant. What am I talking about? But you know what I mean. Still super strong. So see, like, Seal Fate is a cool card, but like, he did nothing with his turn 7. His turn 7 was so slow. And now, if we have Galacron, we drop Galacron on him and basically just win the game. Because he's now given us an opportunity to play our 7 mana card. He's given us an opportunity to play all our heavy cards. Any heavy card that we could possibly want to play right now, we can play. Kronx is free. And Kronx is more than free because it puts pressure on him. And what does he do to deal with this Kronx? He has to use an Eviscerate. The worst thing he can do is sap the Kronx back to my hand. So he's really in a big bind here by having missed his entire turn 7. All he did was Seal Fate my Shark and then Dagger up. It's very slow. Very slow. And these 2 Draconic Lackeys have gotten him dragons that he's just never going to be able to play. Because now, from this point on, this is where the turning point of the game has to be. I have to put the pressure on so strong, so immensely, that he can never recover. And he can never find time to play his heavy hitter cards. I think we have to Kronx here. I think it's time to Kronx. I think you can Shield of Galacron, but it's a little slow, and I don't know what we're doing. I don't think we need the Kronx to play after the Galacron, because he's just already in range. Oh my god. And it's a fully invoked Galacron, so this is just over. This game is like over next turn. Really strong turn from us. Even if he wants to Galacron here, like, he has to deal with the Kronx. And if he Galacrons here, that's another free turn that he's giving us, that he hasn't developed his board to pressure us and discourage us from playing our Galacron. We're just going to play our Galacron. His draws better be pretty good. Because I got a lot of stuff in my hand. And I have 9 mana, so I have ways to deal with everything. See, I don't think that's strong enough. Because now we just Galakrond ourselves. We probably can't play our Sap or Eviscerate, but we don't even need to. We don't even care to now. We're just going to Feral Cat, Lackey, Galakrond, I think. That gets enough out of our hand. 8 cards, right? So you need to get down to 7 before you play Galakrond. So we're either going to sap the 4/5 or the 2/3. No, you can't sap the 2/3. We're going to sap the 4/5, or we just got a Feral Cat, Titanic Lackey. I think Feral Cat, Titanic Lackey is fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. That drops us down to 7. The Claw just deals with this 4/5 straight up, and then we can do all types of other cool stuff here. Devoted Maniac, Life Drinker. Oh my god! Oh my god! Play the Maniac for sure, so that we can clear his Lackey. Play the Maniac, and then definitely Edwin. Maybe even Life Drinker. Oh my god, don't tell me you're holding this. Don't tell me you're holding this. Don't tell me you're holding this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did we do this? This is... The whole thing I've been talking about is keep the pressure up. If we keep the pressure up, he cannot deal. He cannot deal with us. If we drop our Life Drinker, we drop our Devoted Maniac, and we drop our Edwin, he cannot deal with that. He has to like sap stuff. He has to like utilize a lot of his mana to kill our stuff. My presumption is his 0 mana cards are saps, eviscerates, backstabs, shadow steps. Because he hasn't played shadow steps. I think he might have played one backstab. Maybe like a Kronks, but I feel like he would have played Kronks last turn, especially if he got a shadow step. Like, he doesn't have maybe like Praise Galakrons, things like that. He doesn't have really big things to do. Maybe he's also holding an Edwin like we are, but like, if we just put our Edwin out there, he has to play his saps, he has to play his eviscerates, he has to play things like that that make it so that he can't develop strongly onto the board and take care of our Life Drinker and our Devoted Maniac that's here. Because right now he can't really deal with the board. So I don't know, maybe that's okay. Maybe we're just saying like, we know he has 2 saps and we don't want him to sap our Edwin twice, so why play it? I can get down with that too, I guess. I think I want to blindly push pressure at this point, where I am now, but at this point, when I was playing this game, I'm not trying to blindly push pressure, I'm just trying to outvalue him, I guess. Because now we're both in Galakrond. I'm a little bit ahead in... well, I'm not ahead in any sort of advantage anymore. He has a full hand, I have a full hand. See, there's a Praise Galakrond, 0 mana. He used his second Seal Fate. It's too slow. It's too slow. You can't be playing Seal Fates like this. You can't be using a turn to do stuff like this. Because Edwin's just going to push your face in. What are we planning to do this turn? Wrapped Golem and all of this nonsense? And then Edwin? I don't know. Edwin was going to be pushing his face in already. He's playing all these ethereal lackeys looking for stuff, getting more saps, more and more and more and more saps. Okay. See, that hurts. That's one of the primo draws, and I don't know what else we could have burned, but that's pretty big draw. That's a pretty big burn. Yeah, we could have kept the Life Drinker so that we could use it with that. I would have been down with that too. We could have just played the Devoted Maniac and the Edwin last turn. That would have been fine. I think we just kind of ran out of time with the rope coming at us. This dagger needs to go upstairs at all times. Right? I don't know if we're planning to put our Edwin on the board this turn. I don't see why we wouldn't. Now that we've seen an Eviscerate, we should. We definitely should, because it's one less way that he can deal with us, but he's got to have saps. If he's feeling so comfortable to put his Eviscerate into the face so early, he's got to have the saps on deck. or more eviscerates that he just picked up from his ethereal lackeys, from 3 ethereal lackeys. So I think we definitely need to try and clear the board a little bit. Maybe we just get a head crack in finally, because we have nothing else really to do. We can maybe eviscerate his face as well. We play the kobold lackey. We clear up his lackeys. Let's just let it run. I'm sure rank 3 me will make the right play. We can clear the 3/3, but what's even the big idea? Who cares? Oh my gosh. We're getting extra value here. So I guess we're really just looking for hyper value at this point. I don't think that's necessarily the right play against Rogue. I think we can still win by being hyper aggressive. I think we need to clear these lackeys, by the way, guys. Up top. Okay, we can hold it, that's fine. Yeah, I guess we don't care to clear the lackeys at this point anymore. We really wanted to go face with the dagger, but we're going to hold it for now. I'm fine with that. Assassin's Contract. 6 mana he's paying for this, to deal with this. He doesn't have the saps? It's very interesting. I guess he wants to save the saps for all the taunts. There's not that many taunts though, so I'm not quite sure. He's just expecting a lot of taunt lackeys. This is the type of play he should have made a couple turns ago. Make a wide board. Just make a wide board. Just at all times, your first priority should be have a wide board. If you don't have a wide board, do that first. Then do all the other stuff later. I mean, your first priority obviously is like, don't get killed. So like, if you have to deal with certain threats that they have, deal with that first. But then right after that, top priority is make a wide board. Seal Fate is like, okay, because we have so many 0 mana cards and nothing else really to do. But like, otherwise you can't really be playing Seal Fate so late in the game because you have to be developing your board as much as you can. And you want to be using your heavy cards that you weren't able to play earlier in the game. In this case, we haven't really drawn too many of them. And when we have, we've been able to play them. I think this is correct. Don't play the Wrap Golem. Wrap Golem is just a dead card in your hand. Don't ever play that card because they have ways to deal with it. Especially Rogue. Even though he didn't play the sap on the last thing, he's going to have saps at some point. It's not so close to the end of the game that we can do that. And he has this 1/1 poisonous guy on board, so... Life Drinker is correct. Probably Witchy Lackey the Life Drinker. Just keep wide boarding him. We don't have to go face. Head cracking now too. Just head cracking. Yep. We want to attack this turn because at some point we're going to try and come over the top. Next turn we have in our hand Eviscerate, Kobold Lackey, and Head Crack. That's 9 damage from hand. That can go over the top through taunts. So don't let him put a taunt in our way and not let us get our 5 damage off. I think we've won this game. And I think he played way too passively. I think he tried to play a slow game too, and I ended up being able to actually play a slow game with him, a value game with him. But the only reason I was able to play a value game with him is because he allowed me to by slow playing some of his key turns. Turn 2 was a key turn, turn 3 was a key turn. I was able to come back from having a very slow start because he allowed me to. And we got the Shadow Step, all types of BM. We could even, you know what I mean? You can check that sat in our hand the whole game. Yeah. Everybody needs to play faster. Rogue, if you're playing Rogue, this chess Rogue, you have to play fast. The name of the game is play fast. I don't think I played very well this game because I think there were a couple times that I could have played faster and it would have been much greater effect. But Fate Bonded really just threw this game by playing very slowly, very passively on turn in his early turns by not playing his Miscreant out early and then flooding the board the turn after on turn 3. And then he also played very passively turn 7 when he basically allowed me to get a free Galakron if I wanted to. I didn't have the Galakron, I had the Kronks. And then the next turn when he played his Galakron, he didn't have enough pressure on board to dissuade me from playing my Galakron, and I was able to play my Galakron. And even though I then held my cards, and I think that was a little too passive, somehow, you know, I was still able to get him. Maybe I drew a little bit better throughout the rest of the game, but like you can deny that by just winning in the early game. If you just put your Miscreant on board and get your lackeys and start playing the lackey game, the enemy rogue cannot recover from that, and you can at some point just put the enemy rogue into a position where you can come over the top with your Eviscerates and your Kronks and your Life Drinkers, maybe with a Shark or something like that, and you just win the game. I think that also a good point to note here is that the traditional thought of just kill all lackeys was really nicely highlighted here, where I wasn't killing lackeys at all times, and even now you can hear in my review of the game that there were certain times where I just like kill the lackey, kill the lackey, kill the lackey, and in the game I didn't kill lackeys, and we were never punished for it, because at some point he has lackeys, and he can just lackey and Togwaggle at all times. So you really only have to kill the lackey when you're denying certain things. Like lackey plus Togwaggle is 7 mana. Excuse me. Lackey from the hero power plus Togwaggle is 9 mana. So once you do that, he cannot Wondrous Wand. At 7 mana, he can still Wondrous Wand. Sometimes you can do certain things where you need to force him to play a certain card to deal with you, like he needs to play like a Sap on your Edwin or something like that, and so therefore you cannot also play the Sap and the Lackey and the Togwaggle and the Wondrous Wand, things like that. Like, you just want to keep the pressure high. That's all it is. Just keep the pressure high. Most of the times, you probably want to kill the lackey. Every once in a while, you might come across a situation where you don't necessarily have to kill the lackey, because they can make a lackey and Togwaggle. Just think about how much Togwaggle costs. Think about how much the Wondrous Wand costs. Sometimes you want to trap him even into playing the Togwaggle, when you know that, like, if he plays the Togwaggle, he won't be able to play the Sap or the Eviscerate that can deal with your board, and then you can kill him next turn. Like, trap him into playing his Togwaggle by leaving lackeys alive. So there's a little bit of counterplay with the lackey, but in general, yeah, you can just kill all lackeys on sight. But really, just keep the pressure high. Keep the pressure high. Keep the pressure high. Keep the pressure high. We could have kept that Life Drinker, and we could have just played the Devoted Maniac and Edwin the turn that we drew them off of the Galakron. Keep the pressure high. He would have to use his Patient Assassin contract, whatever that crap was. 6 mana garbage. Let me tell you. Do not play these cards. That's why I'm saying Ethereal Lackey is not that useful, because it just gives you cards that you have to either have sit in your hand, taking up a spot in your hand the whole game, which sometimes makes your Galakron or your Wondrous Wands difficult to use, or it's going to trick you into using these high-cost cards that are not doing the things that you want them to do. You do not want to play a control game with this deck. You just go face. You just flood the board and take it upstairs. And then eventually they can't deal with you, and they spend so much time dealing with your board that you haven't had to play any of your Eviscerates on any of their minions. You just have Eviscerates sitting in hand. You might have a Spirit of the Shark sitting in hand. This is why I recommend going with 2, because you can use 1 early for tempo, and then you can keep 1 for your late game bomb. You can use that with a Life Drinker. You can use that with Kronks. If Kronks or Spirit of the Shark get discounted to 0, and you have a Shadow Step, you can play all 3 of those cards for 20 damage in 1 turn. So it's ridiculous. You have so much burst coming over the top that if you just spend the early game just taking control of the board, playing a Zeus-style game, take control of the board and go upstairs when you can, when and where you can, eventually they're going to have to either try and heal or try and put out taunts or try and deal with your board. And they cannot do all 3 of those things in the same turns with only like 5 or 6 mana. They can't do all 3 of those things to an effective, with efficacy. And you can always just come over the top at the end. And like, you can win games by like turn 8, turn 9 usually, just by keeping the pressure high. So I think that's the only mistake from myself this game, was not keeping the pressure high when I should have. Maybe some other decisions could have been made better. If you saw any, please let me know in the comments. and I'll let you guys know in the comments if I watch this back and see other things that I could have done better. But definitely I think Fate Bonded, big misplays, heavy misplays here in playing slow playing. Not the move, my friend. Sorry for 30 minutes. Watch this on 1.5x or 1.25 speed.